everybody. Y'all, sorry for keeping you waiting, but let me just say this. I had to get my coffee right. It is a sin in my if the coffee's not right. I'm just saying, like that could really determine whether your day will be a good day or a bad day. Now, why are we collecting devices already? What is going on? Are you guys okay? Oh, wait, what? Y'all are still on the what do we talk about? Oh my god, I gotta tell you. Well, we'll talk about here Alec Baldwin here in a minute. But is the blue too much blue? Let me know because we could change it to a different color. And like I said, I'm still working on my frame. Hey, Christy B, welcome everybody. But let me know if this is like too much here because I could definitely turn it off, make it a white. I like the white lights more. Hold up, let me see. I like the white lights more. Let's see. See, I like these lights more. These are better. I feel like the lights are better. You like the blue? I like the I don't know, something about the white that it just makes it so nicer. And I don't know where my damn chapstick is at. But anyways, listen. You said blue is more common. All right. Justice Jane is in the house. Welcome. Hey, Poe. All right, everybody come on through. Come on through. Look, we're going to do a little intro. Is it Friday? Let me see. MacBook Pro, tell me if it's Friday. It is Friday. All right. Just want to make sure. Let's do a little fun intro so we can get started. And here we go. That way I can get my chapstick because my lips are a little bit dry. Here we go.
Estoy loco por tocarte, pero no me atrevo a textearte. Tú solo bailas en mi mente, mi amor. No hay nadie más con que prefiera bailar. Aguanta y baila como fuego, iluminamos el cielo con nuestro amor. Aguanta y baila siempre. Baby, quiero nadar en tus palmas, no necesito sombra ni paraguas. Mi amor, me gusta cuando estamos ahí, porque como será calentita. Y no tengo mucho que perder, yo aguanta para mí. Yo te enseño, baby, todo lo que te mereces, mami. No hay nadie más con que prefiera bailar. Aguanta y baila. Cuando agarro tu cuerpo nunca lo suelto. Encima de mi baby siempre te siento. Siempre te siento. Siento. No hay nadie más con que prefiera bailar. Aguanta y baila. Como fuego iluminamos el cielo con nuestro amor. Aguanta y baila siempre. Y ya llegó el momento de dejarte. Siempre me duele cuando estamos aparte.
my goodness. Here we go. Here we go. Shout out to everything and everybody. Welcome, Queen. Welcome. You said this song makes me want to grab a grande dos X from a frozen mug and a basket of tortilla chips with salsa. Do what you may and do what you must. Yes, I am a bit of a hot mess. But that's why you guys are here, right? Like, if I was not a hot mess, you wouldn't be coming here, okay? It is what it is. My girl Bridget has been a member for 9 months. Thank you so much, Bridget, for supporting my channel that long. You are amazing. Thank you. CK, I'm thinking about your comment last night. I'm not going to, like, I got to talk about CK. I got to talk about you here in a minute, okay, CK? Thank you. Lulu Bug has just gifted 5 members. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Lulu Bug. Let me throw you some hearts in the chat. If you guys got gifted by my love over here, Lulu Bug, put a heart in the chat. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. 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 All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. Amazing. Let me see where everybody's at. Welcome, beautiful messy ball. I see you in the chat. Welcome, Fran. Greetings from Switzerland. Ooh, welcome. We are international rabbits over here. Thank you. Let me shout out some people. Please note if you're watching the replay, I do put timestamps so you don't have to hear me shout everybody out and their mother. You can just go directly to what you want to talk about. Okay. All right. Peekaboo's in the chat. Thank you. Just rant already. Nebby's in the house. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see. Don, thank you for being here. Welcome, welcome. Bo's in the house. Bo is in the house. You said Mama Dukes gets her last chemo infusion today. Oh, Bo. Well, that's amazing. Girl, like, let me drop you some hearts to your mom. Listen, that is amazing news. Amazing news. Okay. Thank you for giving us an update on that. I hope you have a wonderful day. Wim's in the house. Yes, I know I saw Chico earlier. Shout out to Chico. Nebulous, welcome, welcome. Nebulous over here doing the most. Tina, thank you. Shauna B's in the house. Thank you. CK says, greetings, y'all. Sadly, notifications again. I accidentally just found this about to start. I don't know what to do anymore. CK, I heard that if you subscribe and unsubscribe, that helps it. Look at this. Let's see. This thing is finicky today. Told you to hit the like button. That might help it, but I don't know. Like, it's hit or miss. And what I heard was that when I talked to somebody about YouTube, this is what somebody told me too, is that notifications go in waves. So certain groups of people will get notified and certain people won't. I don't know why they do that to me, but they don't always like me, you know. Amy P, thank you for being here. Amy, thank you for being here. Amy B and Amy P in the house. Look at this. Awesome. Diamond, thank you. Christy B's in the house. Nance Drew, welcome, love. Shout out to Nance Drew fighting the good fight over there with the ex-Scientology. Shout out to you, love. Deborah, thank you for being here. You love that color. I like the white more than the blue. I'm just going to say that. Beautiful messy balls in the house. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Diamond Rainbow says, y'all remember to give Rabbit the like, please and thank you. Yes. Thank you. All right. Let's keep it going. Welcome everybody. Tina's in the house too. Shannon's in the house. Capricious is in the house. I like to shout out my members. You guys already know. Yes. TGIF. Baby girls in the house. Welcome. Oh my goodness. Let's see who else. Shout out to our members. Pony Slave is in the house. Welcome. You said it's so rare to get notifications and Gypsy juice. Oh my God, that Gypsy stuff is just crazy. Y'all, okay, we're going to get into Gypsy here in a minute. VT Kitten, thank you. Oh, you said I want to say good morning. Just realized it's not morning, but morning anyway. So it's morning somewhere, right? It's morning somewhere. It is what it is. Well, thank you for dropping from the skies and saying hello. Shout out to you. Psych on the Rocks is in the house. Thank you for being here. All right, Gail's in the house. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to my wonderful moms who are always here greeting the people. Lamb is in the house. Thank you, thank you. You say, should we schedule and all hit the like button one? Thank you so much, Gail, for telling everybody to hit the like button. And Cheeks is in the house. Look at this. Everybody's coming through. All right. Thank you guys for being here. You are not in trouble. You just made me laugh. You're not. CK's like, don't come from my devices, please. All right. Crispy treat, welcome. Cool Breeze is in the house. Thank you. Jessica, welcome to the channel. Shout out to you. Diamond Rainbow. All right, I think I said hello to everybody. Julie, thank you. Kelly, okay. Well, I'm sorry. I hate that humidity sometimes. I hate that humidity. All right, I think I've greeted everyone for the most part. Now I'm out of breath. Okay, thank you. Oh my goodness. Sylvia, you said I got a live well person. Hello from Europe. I'm in France, but Swiss funny too. Okay, well, welcome everybody. Vanessa's in the house. Welcome. Okay, let's get into this news. So I figured we're going to talk about Alec and Gypsy Rose, but I think one thing that we definitely have to pay attention to, for those that don't know the case of Scott Peterson, at the very least, let's start right there because we do have some Scott Peterson news. And I'm starting to wonder whether this man might walk out of prison exonerated at this point because the people are really starting to pay attention to what's going on. We got some Scott Peterson news from yesterday. Let's go. Scott Peterson's case for new murder trial returns to court. All right. So you guys remember, what was it, like a couple months ago? He had a trial and he had like the slick back hair, looking a lot different, of course, because he's like, I think he's like 51 now. But he was charged. He was convicted for the murder of Lacey Peterson and unborn child. And that back then, when all of that went down, it was a time of the day where, I mean, there was no YouTube. There was no Facebook. There was no MySpace. There was none of that. So this is getting kind of heated. What are y'all thinking? What do you think is going to happen here? Deborah, that's what they're saying. So the Innocence Project, at least an affiliation or a branch of them, is working with Scott Peterson. What did we get wrong? Was he rightfully convicted? Did they get the right person? Did Scott Peterson kill Lacey and their unborn child? You remember? All right. Well, what do you guys think? I need to know. Just ran already. Thank you for renewing your membership. Shout out to you. And Queen just became a new member. Thank you. You ain't liking it? I need to know. What do y'all think? Okay, look at Vix over here is like, no. Yeah, yes, he did. He did murder her. Crispy Treat said, yes, he was rightfully convicted, and I have lost my faith in the Innocence Project, even taking this on. What do y'all think? I need to know. What are you the people thinking? You said, I hope he doesn't get off. I believe so. I remember that case. It was awful. People have said that this man is innocent. You said he's guilty? I'm just wondering. Wasn't he? No, he wasn't a cop. He wasn't a cop. He's getting special treatment. No, you're talking about, there's another Peterson. What was his name? Was his name Scott too? No. It was another Peterson though, and that one was a cop. I know exactly who you're talking about. And they just found that woman's body too. I know what you're talking about, CK, but there was another Peterson. I can't remember. Drew Peterson. Thank you. Drew Peterson was the cop. His name was Scott too. I thought it was Drew Peterson. Hold up. Well, listen, let's correct the record right now, the live record. Drew Peterson. I think it was Drew Peterson. Yeah, it's Drew Peterson, y'all. It wasn't Scott. Unless it's Drew Walter Peterson. Y'all are thinking about this guy right here. This is the guy that you guys are thinking about. It's another, this is not him. Yeah, no, it's very easy though, because this one is Scott Peterson, right? So this crime happened before Drew, if that makes sense. Drew Peterson was a cop. Scott Peterson was not a cop, okay? Scott Peterson was having this affair with Amber Fry. Y'all remember that? Amber Fry was also at the press conference. Is that coming back to everybody? Let me know. Okay. Scott Peterson case for new murder trial returns to court. So the ongoing case involving convicted murderer Scott Peterson bid for a new trial was set to return to Redwood City courtroom Thursday. Peterson, who is serving a life sentence after he was convicted of killing his wife, Lacey, and their unborn son 20 years ago, was expected to attend the proceeding virtually. The hearing is focused on technicality. The two sides will decide what lab will handle the DNA testing of a piece of duct tape from the original case. Who will pay for it? Who will pay for it? The tape was found on Lacey Peterson's pants. It's the only piece of evidence from a list of several items that the judge in May ruled was worth testing after Peterson's defense team with the Los Angeles-based Innocent Project argued multiple pieces of evidence were suppressed in the original trial. So a lot of stuff was suppressed. The Innocence Project is saying, listen, y'all got to test this. There's a lot that's not making sense on this case, which makes me kind of wonder. I mean, did we get it wrong initially? I do have to wonder. I like the Innocence Project, but do they have it wrong now? I have to question the Innocence Project here. You said he's guilty? Ooh, I better, but you like, what was it that wasn't allowed? I have to wonder, you guys. I'm like my mind wants to know. You know, you said Scott Peterson was the one that dyed his hair too. That's right. Remember, he died and he was like running away, and when they pulled him over, I think they found like Viagra or some shit like that. He was doing the most. He really was, which was weird. He never confessed. Not Scott Peterson. Mm-mm. You went to the banquet last year too? I'm telling you. So initially what I heard was that it wasn't the Innocence Project, but then if you look into it, it is. It's like a branch of their office or something in California. So I don't know what they're doing over there. Girl, I don't know. Mm-mm. You said, I used to think he was guilty, but what I understand is he did not get a fair trial, and I'm now undecided. That's what people said, is that people are undecided whether he got a fair trial or not. Queen said, nah, the good-looking bad guys always have someone feeling their sympathy over them. Next, we'll hear how Chris Watts, oh Lord, is innocent. Queen just mic dropped this shit right here. She said, not Chris Watts. Not Chris Watts. I don't know what to say. I mean, what do y'all think? Yeah, and then there was Nancy Grace too. Oh, Nancy Grace was all over on that one. Y'all remember that? She was all over that. But I mean, Queen, you gonna make me quit my life today just on this comment. Come on, Queen. Give it to us easy. All right. So, defense attorney and legal analyst Paula Canny, who is not involved with the Peterson trial, says that Thursday's hearing is mundane, but crucial because where a piece of evidence is tested can be impactful. So they're going to test this tape, right? They're going to test this tape. We're trying to figure out like what is it about this tape. The defense argues that the piece of duct tape in question contains human DNA that could point to someone other than Scott Peterson. So there is DNA that could point to someone else doing this crime. What if there is a DNA of somebody else? What if Scott Peterson did not commit this crime and there's DNA of somebody else that committed this crime? Yes, Julie, most pregnant women are killed by the hands of their father. I hope that he isn't innocent, but that's terrible. Yes. Beautiful Messy Ball says, oh, there's already a camp saying Chris Watts is innocent. That's true. There's YouTube channels that are advocating. Really? There's YouTube channels out there that are advocating for Chris Watts being innocent, even though he said he did the crime. Okay. I don't know. I think sometimes the people that step in have like some type of love interest too. Like if something gives you like, why are you, what is the point? What's the point of all that advocacy? I don't know. But something tells me, especially if they've confessed to the crime, it's weird, you know? Right. It is gross. Okay, then Scott is the most guilty looking innocent person ever. Even in his interviews were so sketchy. His interviews were sketchy. Just the tea, please. Welcome, love. One piece of evidence does not necessarily negate all the other evidence or even rise to reasonable doubt. So that's a good point too. Scott Peterson never confessed to anything. He always maintained his innocence in this whole crime. He did. So there's that. But I would say that there is a lot of sketch. Now, was he a cheater? Yeah, he was cheating on Lacey. He was cheating on his pregnant wife. Does that necessarily mean that he, like that's another point is that of his character, did he actually commit the crime? Those are things that have to be looked into. Now, if there's more than one piece of evidence, other than the tape, I'm kind of wondering, well, what did everybody miss? Now, I was a child when all this was going down. So I don't really know, but now I'm very curious what this looked like. What everybody saw. You said Chris Watts, innocent. Oh my God. I know, baby girl, but there are people out there that do believe that Chris Watts is innocent. Mm-hmm. There are. No way. So people are raising money from my understanding, she got cases of her own. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I mean, do you love? Do you? Okay. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say. Oh my God. Yes. And then he had an affair too. There's that too. Anyways, well, before I go, thank you for being here. Welcome. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody from Ireland. You said prisons are filled with people claiming innocence. So there's that. That's true. That is true. Let me see. Psychopaths supporting psychopaths. There's a lot to say. Okay. Bossy, welcome. Well, this is what's going on. The defense is taking baby steps to their ultimate destination, which is to establish that Scott Peterson was wrongfully convicted. There are any number of ways they can do that. DNA is most powerful. Prosecutors say many of the items that the defense wants to test were already tested and ruled out. Ooh, interesting. Another hearing on discovery of evidence in the case is scheduled next week. So this was an article from yesterday? So next week they have a hearing. For those that are, this is
Young chicken
Scott Peterson
farm with our Purdue chicken. No.
Still fighting behind the bars. Okay, that's what he's doing. All right, let me shout out Wim. Thank you, Wim, for gifting. If you guys got a membership from my supporter, Wim, please put a heart in the chat, please, and thank you. Thank you for supporting my channel, Wim. Thank you, as per usual. All right, let's watch this real quick.
Companies are arguing what lab should handle a new DNA test on a piece of duct tape that was found on Lacey Peterson's body. NBC's Ian Cull was in the courtroom.
With Scott Peterson once again joining the proceedings remotely from prison, today's hearing focused on what may seem like a small detail. The two sides argued over why their preferred lab should handle the DNA testing for a single piece of evidence. That's a piece of duct tape found on Lacey Peterson's pants when her body was found in 2003. It's the only piece of evidence in a list of more than a dozen items that the judge has ruled should be tested. Peterson's attorneys from the LA Innocence Project believe the duct tape could contain human DNA that could point to someone other than Scott Peterson as Lacey's killer. Prosecutors say the duct tape was already tested before the original trial 20 years ago. They say back then it was an insufficient sample to generate a DNA profile under testing used at that time. Defense attorney Paula Canny, who is not involved with this case, says the decision on where to test now may seem small, but it matters.
So it's super interesting and kind of mundane, but really important because where you test this particular thing, where you take the DNA can actually impact, obviously, what, if anything, is found from the item to be tested.
After the judge spoke with both sides, a compromise was proposed to have a different independent lab test the duct tape. Both sides say they need time to review the lab's credentials, so the judge will make that ruling on Monday.
So they are going to test whatever's like DNA they have, and it sounds like they have others, but it also sounds like they have the prosecutor, or at least when this case was prosecuted, had already tested some things. So I'm trying to figure out, like, are we just trying to rewrite the narrative here? That's what it seems like to me. But I guess, I don't know. Is there more to this? I don't know. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments, but we'll definitely be watching and following parts of this because I am curious to know what is going on. Could this man be exonerated? Yeah, oh geez, here we go again with the what if statement, says Jenny. It's a lot of it, Jenny. It's a lot. Like, can you blame folks for feeling some type of way about this? Because honestly, like, it's a lot. It's a lot that's happening, a lot to be said about that case. I am kind of wondering what is going to happen. But I mean, if he didn't commit the crime and say that there is another DNA, maybe there's more to it. We don't know. I don't know, at least. I'll speak for myself. I don't know what I don't know. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's talk about he was. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he was. Sure was. Innocence Project is totally for publicity. He's doing this because he has nothing better to do than to victimize Lacey's family again. That is the sad part. And I hope that, I kind of wonder, like, I know both mom and dad were huge advocates of Lacey Peterson, so I hope that they continue. If not, like others in the family, I'm sure that they're going to have a say about this. Just because he's a sleazy, horrible husband doesn't mean guilty. I agree with this. I agree with this statement. Believe it or not, I agree with this statement. I would like to know what they have made them take this one on, because I feel it's big with the backlash they will get. I see, Rem, and that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, you do have to kind of wonder, why would they take on this case? Because they would get a lot of backlash. But you're right. Jenny says it's a nothing burger. Scott Peterson is guilty and a POS, period. Allegedly, in my opinion, don't come for me. Oh my gosh. Nobody's coming for you, love. Shout out to you. Okay. Y'all ready to move on? Because we got to talk about who you guys want to are we going to talk about Gypsy Rose or Alec Baldwin? Which one is it? Gypsy Rose or Alec Baldwin? Who are you guys dying to talk about at this point? Because let me tell you, Gypsy Rose is over here trying to do math about why she is pregnant, why the child is really the child is, the baby daddy is really that father's child. I mean, it's just crazy. Everybody's coming for Gypsy at this point. Or are we going to talk about Alec? Alec? All right, we're going to talk about Alec. That's what I first saw. You said Gypsy. Well, Deborah put in Alec first. Okay. I don't know, Deborah. I don't know. Oh my God. So let me tell you what happened. And people came for me in the comments too. So Alec Baldwin, there's this trial happening right now. Alec Baldwin had to go to the bathroom. And I mean, I think maybe there is something to do with, and the internet's coming for Alec Baldwin. Okay. He had to go to the bathroom, right? He couldn't just hold it. He couldn't just wait there or anything like that. He told his attorney, I guess, that he had to leave. He had to go to the bathroom, goes to the bathroom, doesn't get chased down by any bailiff or anything like that. This is the trial that's happening. And, people are kind of like, what's going on? What's going on? I love Emily D. Baker's reaction to this because it said a lot. Like, you don't just, even if you have to pee or poop or whatever, even if you got diarrhea, girl, no. All right. You have to sit there and you have to wait. Whatever. Even if it was whatever it was. So Twitter, of course, you already know Twitter is going to, say something about this, right? You already know Twitter. So, of course, I posted about this and everybody's like, Alec Baldwin left the courtroom to get himself coffee. Now, afterwards, I guess, he got some coffee or whatever and then, came and sat down. So I don't know. I just assume, like, you're not going to just let your attorneys handle this trial where you're potentially facing prison time, right? He literally just left. And people said, Alec Baldwin left the courtroom to get himself some coffee. This is celebrity entitlement at its finest. Sir, you killed a woman. Sit your ass down. That's what they said. Listen. There's nothing wrong with that. You got to do what you got to do. But it was so funny. CK's comment made me laugh because CK's like, listen, when you got to go, you got to go. But is he having to go or did he just go to get some coffee? During courtroom, during his court trial. I'm just saying. But you said wasn't I don't know, Jill. I don't know. Intergalactic Defender, thank you for being a member for 8 months. That is amazing. Thank you for supporting my channel for 8 freaking months. Shout out to you. I don't know nothing about his. Maybe he just got the runs. He said they don't call him the runs for nothing. That's right. But see, then he's going to go get coffee. Hold up. Let me play this clip because people were dragging me in the comments of my short little video. They were like, this is what somebody said. They said, you clearly didn't watch the whole trial. He asked his attorneys if he can go to the bathroom and he left. There is nothing wrong with that. All right. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know. You got to love Emily D. Baker. Okay, let me play this.
Mr. Baldwin's motivation to lie about pulling the trigger of the gun. I'm 63 years old with 6 kids. I can't rely on luck anymore. He's talking about his career and that he can't rely on luck anymore. This goes exactly to his motivation not to tell the truth.
And the guy right there, he opens the door for him. Y'all see that? He had somebody open the door. Is that like his security person? That's what I would do. Girl, that's what I would do. Hey, Jody, he said he did not ask his attorneys nothing. Watch his lawyer's face. So he's got a couple of attorneys. He's got that attorney that's like sitting there and he's like, what the hell is going on? And the other attorney, he's probably like, what the heck? Like, he had to go to the bathroom. He had to go number 3. I don't know, number 2, number 3, number 1, whatever. He couldn't hold it. But the guy opened the door for him. He didn't stop him. So I don't know who is this guy to Alec Baldwin. Let me keep playing this.
Can we approach briefly?
Sure.
So he's like, can we approach briefly right away, like right now, before something happens?
It puts in context the
You said no respect. I'm saying, like, you have to kind of wonder, Nebulous. I don't know if I was facing what I'm facing. This man is. These are serious charges. But you know what the sad part is of this situation? Listen. He's not going to prison. I don't know. Something tells me that he's going to get acquitted. Am I wrong? Yeah, I know. Queen's like, can we approach briefly? Because he had to tell him, like, listen, he had to go to the bathroom and get some coffee or whatever. Oh, gotcha. Marcy says that the guy in the door is another part of his attorney team. So he didn't get stopped. He's arrogant and no respect. I don't know. Is it wrong? Tell me, Lamb. What do you guys think? Is it privilege? Listen, or is it somebody that really needed to go to the bathroom and get some coffee? I don't know. You said, listen, the one thing that Alec might understand better than the rest of us is optics. And I don't believe he would have done something like this unless it was an emergency. That's true. He needed to go. He walks. Acquitted. He's not going to prison. I don't think he's going to prison. Kim, shout out to Kim in the chat. I think he's getting out of this. Yes, I think he's guilty. I mean, he was reckless, but I don't think he's going to get. Honestly, I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't know why. And they're going to figure it out. You said privilege. All those Baldwin brothers are so weird. Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. You said if you squirt, that guy that opened the door for him look like John. Oh, if you squint, not squirt. You said if you squint, that guy that opened the door looked like Johnny Depp. Oh my God. Oh, I need to stop reading. Okay. He's a Baldwin. Don't you forget. He says, listen, they don't even know where they live. The live rounds came from. It's insane to me. They have no idea. Yeah. You said Hilaria needs to do a quick yoga session. Hilaria. I don't know, girl. I need to not read comments anymore. I need to be that creator that doesn't read any comments whatsoever. Poe says, we have different legal systems. Those who have money and those who go to jail. Mm-hmm. Yes, Jenny, I said, if you squirt. Oh my God. Why? This is why I entitled this True Crime and the Internet Mess, because y'all are messy. Okay. Mm-hmm. You stick with the, I like the Wahlburgers too. I do. I sure do. Yep. Marky Mark. I like Marky Mark. Court this morning is very spicy. It might get dismissed. Really, Marcy? They don't even have respect for each other. No, they don't. They don't. All right, y'all. So Piers did a little like segment of this whole situation, and I want to talk a little bit about it. I do think he is going to, I'm sorry, I think he's going to walk. And I don't know why Harvey Levin looks like, again, he can't keep his eyes open. Harvey, are you okay, Harvey? Harvey, are you okay? Look at him. All right, let me keep playing this.
A gun and pull the trigger that way. But negligence isn't enough to prove involuntary manslaughter. There has to be some kind of showing of recklessness at the very least. And I think Alec Baldwin's argument is simply, well, I mean, look, and he's not saying this. He keeps insisting he didn't pull the trigger. But even if he concedes that, I think he says, I made an assumption here, and I think it was a good one, that there was no live ammo because we have an armorer. And yeah.
I just think that Harvey is really doing the best to keep his eyes open. He's like going like this. And like, I'm like you're either awake or you're not. I saw about him. I know Harvey, aka Dr. Charles Sophie. Something's telling me about this little connection. But look at his eyes. He's like trying the most to keep these eyes open. The most.
You shouldn't pull the trigger, but if it's a blank, nobody's going to get hurt. And I made that assumption that it was a blank, and I think it's a good assumption. And there are a lot of actors, and I know you mentioned Dennis Quaid. I think George Clooney has said the same thing, that he would check the barrel sometimes as well. But there are a lot of actors and people in the Screen Actors Guild who say they rely on the armorer. And so I just don't think it rises to that level. And, Piers, I've been around long enough, and so have you, that you can never predict what a jury does. Yeah. But I feel like it's advantage Baldwin in this, especially because the armor has already been convicted.
I mean, where is his career here? He's
Wait. Jody says, I did traffic school with Harvey in the 80s. Now, Jody, shout out to Layla who's in the chat. Jody, was his eyes always like that, or did they change? I'm just saying, he just looks like he just can't keep him awake. So Harvey's making the argument that, it's not Alec Baldwin's fault. Like, he isn't the one that's entirely in charge of the whole thing. In my opinion, there was only one person that shot the gun, and that was Alec Baldwin. And they didn't double check. Sure, the lady, the armor, the one that's in charge of it, yes, I get it. She's behind bars and she's serving her sentence. But he's the producer. He's the one, like, there should have been more on him as well. I personally feel like you shot the gun. You don't ever just shoot the gun to shoot a gun. He does look pretty rough. But Jody says, I did traffic school with Harvey. Now traffic school? As in, like, y'all got some tickets? He's so freaking funny. Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying. You said a blank, thank you, doesn't mean not lethal, non-lethal. He had not a reason to be pointing it where he was. So that is negligence. Yes. But I just feel like, I don't know. Like, some of us can say this. And let me just say this. Alec changed his story a couple times. Not just one time, a couple times about what happened. He did one interview. He talked about one thing and another thing. Like, who happened? Who had it in the gun? Was it Hannah Gutierrez? Was it the other person? How did it happen? I side-eye this whole situation. I really, really do. I think it's his responsibility. I really do. But that's just me. So, of course, Harvey gets invited here, and he's over here making an argument. And then I see Andy up here. I'm going to fast forward so everybody can get their opinions here.
I admit it, but Alex Spiro, who's trying this case, I guarantee you wishes that interview had never happened. They did have quite a victory yesterday when the judge ruled that they cannot start talking about the theory of Alex as the producer of this film to attach liability to him, because that was, frankly, from my standpoint, that was always one of the worst things to defend against. Once that's out and kind of all of the evidence that would have come in, the fact that he says I pulled or I didn't pull the trigger, they're going to try to shift that to the issue of I didn't know the gun was loaded. I had no idea the gun was loaded. And all of the other stuff that would have come in if he had remained liable as a producer, that's now excluded. So I think he's got a much better shot than he did. But having said that, I guarantee you if they could do it, if they had a redo, they would redo that interview.
Well, yeah, because it seems to me if they can prove that he's lying about pulling the trigger, if I'm on that jury, I'm like, whoa, okay, so he did pull the trigger. And regardless of whether he meant to do it, I don't think anybody assumes he meant to do it. But, you know, if he literally has now lied about this, I think that to a jury is quite a significant thing. I do agree with you, though. I think the fact that they've removed the producer liability is huge, because I've written about this many times, that as a producer, he would be responsible for the overall safety also on set.
So he's responsible for the overall safety, but they've removed that part. I'm just saying, yeah, it shouldn't have been loaded with the live round. Now, people have said, when I've talked about Alec Baldwin, people have said that it was, you know, they're out in the desert, so they brought live rounds so that they, you know, you get bored and you start shooting, I don't know, at cactus or some stupid shit like that. I don't know. For me, it's like live round guns. That's just scary to me. Like, why would you even be playing with that unless you're hunting or you're not actually doing a movie and it's like a recreational thing? I think for me, it's a little bit different, but you guys are actually doing a job, a movie, right? So why is this? How did this even happen? That's the biggest thing. And he pointed the gun and he shot at her. It wasn't like it went off accidentally, which initially was said to have happened. And yes, that is Andy up here on the panel from Popcorn Planet.
And finally, Mark, before we go to the others.
And mind you, Piers.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, mind you, all of the evidence that would have come in under the guise of producer liability was awful. And so now all of that is off the table, and that makes it a more clear shot to defend against.
I think you're going to have to stop using
phrases. Please note, too, they got rid of the gun. Somebody destroyed the evidence. I don't know why. Like, I'm so confused by this. Somebody destroyed the gun. So they don't even have a gun to reference. Did y'all know that? How convenient, right? How convenient that all of that has happened. You said, let's see. Haven't they already proved that the gun could have not gone off unless the trigger was pulled? I don't know if they're that far in there. Absolutely no live rounds should have ever be anywhere. See, and I don't know if look, I personally don't believe that he meant to shoot her. I believe that he aimed and that he shot. But I don't think that he meant to shoot her. I do think that there is this part of me that says, you know, yeah, there's a component of like, it was an accident, because I don't think anybody meant to, you know, hurt anybody or kill anybody. But there was negligence in the sense that y'all brought live rounds and we can't even trace it. And God knows, like, there's this like craziness behind it as to where it came from, who did what exactly. I don't know. So you do have to kind of wonder. That's what I thought. No live rounds. No live rounds. How did they even get there? That's the mystery of that, right? That's the mystery of that. How did the live rounds get in there?
Phrases like clear shot. No.
Thank you.
You did it twice. I had to step in eventually. We all do this. You forget the language we use. Esther, look, so far, Harvey Levin says he's pretty much on Baldwin's side with this. Mark thinks legally the case has moved significantly towards Baldwin getting off because he's no longer liable as a producer. But what do you think of him?
I don't think he has a good chance of getting off, just because the argument that I didn't know was loaded if I was a member of the jury, I don't think would wash, because there is a reason why you don't handle, you can be charged for mishandling or misuse of a gun, which is one of the people on set was charged with. I don't think this idea that because you didn't know it was loaded, whether or not he pulled the trigger, which he's saying that he didn't, I don't think that's a good enough argument. I do think his conduct, though, has been very callous.
Yeah.
If I was, an average member of the jury and I saw his reality show with this sort of new Brady Bunch thing that he's doing, and him, posting on Instagram 3 days after shooting this woman dead, whether he meant to do or not, about Halloween with his 20 kids, I just think there is a level of insensitivity there. And, that may be because he's completely acquitted himself of any responsibility. But for me, that would speak to me that he's just trying to put on this facade, and actually there's a level of culpability there. I think in the court of public opinion, he's not coming across very well at all.
And Andy Signal, the sheer brazen hypocrisy, frankly.
I would say so. I would agree with that. It's like, I don't think that that's a good enough reason. Kelly says, I definitely don't think he purposely pulled the trigger and killed her, but his negligence did. And he should get in trouble for that. Yes. Let me give you guys an example. Some of us don't. I drive a car. I don't get behind the wheel thinking, like, if I'm going to the store, that while between now and that I drive to the store, from my destination to the next, that I'm going to be, hurting somebody or killing somebody, being negligent. That's not my intent of it. I'm just driving to the store, right? But if it does happen, if I don't wear my seatbelt, if I'm speeding, if I'm texting and driving, it's not my intent to hurt a person, but I'm negligent because I'm either texting and driving, I'm not paying attention, and I've hurt somebody or killed somebody. That is what I think it is. Nobody intends, in my opinion, to kill somebody, but I agree. I think that he's negligent. Does that make sense? That's kind of like how I see it. Yeah, I don't agree with the blame game. Like, you can't just, I don't know. And the image thing is so huge, Someone tell my husband to shut up, can't hear rabbit. Yeah, thank you. If you're loaded, like if I'm drinking and driving and I go to the store, I don't intend to kill somebody, but I'm drinking and driving. Therefore, I'm negligent. I didn't think it's the same thing with what's his name? Justin Timberlake, which, by the way, side note, did y'all know that Justin Timberlake and Tiger Woods are about to open a bar? Justin Timberlake and Tiger Woods are going to open a bar. Let me just. I'm not joking. I'm working on a video on that. Yeah, it feels like a joke, doesn't it? I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I'm working on a video on SPTV 11. Sounds like a setup for a joke. I'm not. I promise y'all. Tiger Woods and Justin Timberlake are going to open a bar. All right. Apparently not at y'all. Okay. Timberlake Woods. That's what's going to be called. I'm not joking, y'all. Like, when somebody sent me that article, I said, you have got to, is this a joke? You got to be joking me. They're really going to do it. I don't know. Thank you. Well, shout out to Cash. But the analogy does equate to workplace. Thank you. There you go. You're right. This is a workplace. So it's a completely different analogy. You're absolutely right. An actor should expect that they have no lives. Live rounds. Lives should not be on the set. You're right. And this is a workplace environment, a set. So sorry, y'all. I'm still laughing at this. But you're right. Cash, I would agree. I just think it's negligence, right? It's the same thing. Like, as a social worker, if I'm working as a social worker in an agency, I could be charged with negligence if I don't do my job. Matter of fact, I've seen people be charged with negligence within, government for their job. So you're absolutely right. You said Justin and Tiger want to open foolishness jokes with themselves. Oh, I'm working on a video, y'all. So do me a favor. When I get done with that video, I'll upload it today. Y'all go watch it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I thought it was a really bad joke. But it's not a joke. And I haven't seen anybody talk about it. So I got to talk about it, I get this argument, and it's valid. However, if you've been acting for decades and there are certain protocols and procedures on the set, you're going to assume things are safe. I don't know how I feel about that statement. I just don't know if I would assume things are safe. Like, I hear what you're saying. It's like you're hiring, you have people like the set production manager or whatever. You got people in there that you've hired to ensure safety. So you're going in there as the actor or producer, assuming that things are safe. I hear what you're saying on this. I don't know. But at the end of the day, he is a producer, right? Due diligence. I mean, this is why this is in court, right? Like, I hear what you're saying though, but she didn't. I was raised to never assume, because you make an ass out of you and me, and two asses is not gonna get the job done. Okay. All right. Well, Lori, listen, if they open a bar, let me just say this. I hope that they provide Ubers for people. Okay. All right. It is the armor's job, you said. I got you. All right, let's get it together. Let's keep watching. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Of Alec Baldwin doing a reality TV show with his wife and kids after spending years throwing haymakers at paparazzi who dare to invade the privacy of him, his wife and kids. I do find that utterly breathtaking, even by the double standards of many celebrities.
Well, yeah, don't forget, she's a liar too. How you say cucumber? She's made
The
her
whole
own
fake Spanish accent is utterly ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole family's ridiculous. Look, you're all right.
So he's calling Hilaria a liar. Y'all, shout out to SPTV Atlanta for becoming a member. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Shout out to you. Listen, Hilaria is hilarious. Okay, so he's calling her a liar.
Hey, but I think he's completely guilty. But this is just another proof of like wealthy, better lawyers win cases, and they've just run rings around the state. And I think, look, he's contradicted himself multiple times in his own testimony. There was a point where he said Dave Hall, the first AD, handed him the gun to Stephanopoulos, and then to the cops before it was Hannah Gutierrez. He's changed it multiple times. He told the police, I fired the gun. He told Stephanopoulos he didn't. There's been so many different conflicts. I can't believe someone's not going to be able to see it. But at the same time, they destroyed the evidence. I'm still blown away that they were hitting the gun with a mallet, the key piece of evidence before the defense had it. And now he can't even look at it with his own team. I think he's super guilty. He pulled the trigger. I think he's denying it because I think this is a serious thing. When you take a life, you want to sort of say, I couldn't have done this. I don't think he did it on purpose. But
that's what I'm saying. I don't think he did it on purpose, but why did they destroy the gun? I don't get this. And Brandy says, comment, I'm a licensed vet tech. So just like anyone in the med field, I'm held liable for negligence if I personally caused a pet to be harmed. Yeah. Like I said, like I worked in social work. When I worked in government, there was a social worker who was negligent on her job and caused the death. She didn't cause the death, but she was not, there was a child that died. So she didn't do right by the situation, and she was charged as well. So yeah, I mean, it's a movie set, just like Cash said. It's the same. You can cause negligence, and you do have to. There's a lot of due diligence here, and sometimes where does the buck stop? So does the buck stop over here with Hannah Gutierrez because she's the one in charge? Okay, she's behind bars. All right. So what about Alec, who shot the gun? Hilarious is nutty. Oh, Hilaria. The woman claims she's a Hispanic woman because she speaks Spanish. Lady, you are a YT American with no Spanish blood. I agree. He could have exercised more caution for sure. What about all the deaths caused by, and how many deaths do we have? Do we now charge them for the malfunction because the user didn't test them multiple times? I don't think the gun malfunctioned though, but the thing is, we don't even have a freaking gun to test because they got rid of it. I'm kind of wondering about this too. Like, what's that all about? That's so suspect to me. I'm just saying. Okay.
But he absolutely did it. And I think it's frustrating because he's just going to get away with it, I think.
Byron Brown, I mean, it can work two ways, celebrity status, can't it? It can be that you can get the best lawyers and you can maybe get yourself off. It can be that the case is only brought against you because of your celebrity status. Are you in that second camp?
I'm definitely in the second camp. I think this is a case where it's being tried in the court of public opinion. And even from what we've heard so far from everyone on the panel, it goes against, hey, he's punching at paparazzis. Hey, he doesn't look good filming his TLC show. Okay, all of that is true. But when it comes down to it under New Mexico law, they got to prove criminal negligence. They have to prove that Alec Baldwin knew or should have known. And regardless of that knowledge, he continued forward despite the safety and risk of others. And they're not going to be able to prove that.
Well, I think the argument here is that just by virtue of being an actor, that doesn't make you exempt from common sense. You're playing pretend for a living. You're not a child. Holding a weapon, whether you think is loaded or not, does not give you the right, at least the prosecution is contending, to act in a negligent way. Look, I don't know the legality.
I agree with her. I agree with her. I do.
Of this, he may very well be acquitted of this, but I think most people have a natural revulsion because there's this kind of high and mighty attitude that a lot of actors have. Oh, well, it's on set. People should have handled it. My assistants or my servants or my butlers should have been able to sort it out. You're still an adult. You still have some sort of liability. I think if this was the average person, I don't think the courts would have been as generous. And I think that's where the public really.
Well, that's interesting. Let me bring back Mark Garrigus on that. I mean, is that true, do you think? If this was an ordinary member of the public, would it be a different standard applied here legally?
No, well, yes, there would be a different standard. This wouldn't have been refiled after being dismissed again. I mean, I've often said, and I've represented a couple of high-profile people in the last couple of decades, that God save me from so-called celebrity justice, because you do not get the same level of kind of prosecutorial reserve. This case would not have been refiled after it was dismissed, but for the fact that it's Alec Baldwin. And that's unfortunate for depending on your standpoint and where you're sitting, but that's the reality of it. They, as mentioned, they took a mallet to this gun so that the defense could not retest it. And that alone in most jurisdictions in front of most judges would have been enough to say game over. The fact that they brought it again later, the fact that also, by the way, that they've convicted somebody who's in the chain. You know, you have a causation here. You've got the armorer. The armorer is the one that they previously argued has the responsibility here. They've convicted the armorer. They've sentenced the armorer to prison. Now you're going to argue that it's not really the armorer. It was the actor who's the next link in that chain. So
that's a good point, too. Ooh.
I think it's a heavy lift for the prosecution.
I mean, it's interesting that because, they could both be culpable, right? They could both be negligent. The armorer for providing this loaded gun, but also the actor for not checking it. I have been struck by the number of actors who said to me they've never heard of someone not checking that the gun wasn't inadvertently loaded. If you're doing a cowboy scene, a shooting scene, and there is ammunition around of any kind, almost every other actor I've talked to says we would have tested it. So I think
he's not just an actor.
Sorry?
He's not just an actor, he's a producer. And I think that's why, as Mark said, the case is over. When I don't know how they lost that.
Right.
The fact that he's not being treated as an actor producer, which he is. He's a decades-old actor who knew better, has taken the safety multiple times. I remember seeing him in like so many movies that I love of Alec Baldwin. I'm a fan of Alec Baldwin. He knows better, and he knows better especially because he's a producer. And I'm shocked that Judge Summer sort of couldn't comprehend why he couldn't wear both hats. Of course, as an actor acting and as a producer, I can't do this again. I'm doing it in one take.
He got complacent, right? I would agree with this. And you said, Remhard says the number one gun safety rule that I learned is to always assume the gun is loaded. Best case, it's not. Worst case, it is.
Matter if that's safe. We can't afford this. There's a million things going in Alec's head. And so I think it's incredibly frustrating that was thrown out, because at this point, based on what we're hearing, Alec's going to create reasonable doubt. And there's now enough reasons that they can't prove it with the gun being destroyed, with him not being a producer. I would be shocked if he doesn't get away. Pierce, I would say only thing that can stop Alec Baldwin here is his own hubris. I think he's going to testify because he can't.
Well, that's what I was about to. I'm going to ask Byron that. I mean, if you were advising him, I wouldn't let Alec Baldwin anywhere near the witness stand, would you?
No, I wouldn't let him. I think anything that he's proven to us in the media is that he's volatile. You even heard statements made by lawyers who cross-examined him in the Stalker case and said that he felt he got under Alec Baldwin's skin very easy. Now, if you take the stand in a case like this where people already have a negative opinion of Baldwin and he comes unraveled, which I think we all believe he would on the stand, that's going to severely hamper his case, if not sink his whole case just off of his testimony. I don't see how he takes a stand in this case.
Yeah, Mark, do you agree with that? I mean, is there any upside in putting Baldwin on the stand? An ability to talk directly to the jury, maybe?
I don't know any really good defense lawyer who ever makes the decision going in. I mean, you're always going to be ready to put your client on the stand, but it's the toughest decision you make. Ultimately, it's one of the only decisions that's up to the client. I mean, the client's got the right to overrule you, and I've been in that situation. I don't think they make the decision until they see, number one, what does this jury look like? Because jury selection is going to be game over in this case. I mean, depending on, this is more not just celebrity, but it's also political in many ways. And then you've got to see, does the prosecution, how much of his interview actually does or does not get into evidence? Until they see that, until they see how the jury reacts to that, I don't think they make that decision. And by the way, if it were me right now, I would be against it. prior to selecting a jury.
So, okay, let me stop right here. By the way, I think it's this attorney right here. I don't know if you guys know the Menendez brothers case. I think he's the one that's kind of fighting for them to get like a new trial or some stuff like that, or to be exact. He's actually, I think it's the same one. Is it Mark Garagos? Yep. This guy right here, this attorney right here is fighting for the Menendez brothers. Just heads up, everybody. That's if I don't know if the name looks familiar, if it sounds familiar to you guys. But yes, CK says, why do you bother having professional armor hired and paid on set? That is their only job, period. Ooh. Behavior was so telling when this was happening. Yeah. He's just not like, this is not disputing him as an actor, producer. That's not what this is about. He definitely has a little temper. He's got a temper. Jenny says, that's my point. Just because Hannah was found guilty doesn't mean Alec is absolved of all responsibility for a woman's death. How does Andy get all these invites? I don't know. Yo, go check out the rest of Piers Morgan's video. Definitely check it out. It gives you a different, I like seeing people argue, do different points because it gives you a different perspective. You don't really know. Like, you can side one side and then side the next, and you just never know. You never know where you go. I think it definitely is going to be a case that a lot of folks are going to be talking because of that. However, Alec Baldwin isn't the most popular, I don't know, person in my opinion. He just isn't, and also there's something about him that I'm just like, as a person, I don't know if I like him. Okay, we got to move to Gypsy Rose. So I was being nosy on the internet, which typically happens because I have to be nosy in order to talk about some of these things. So Gypsy Rose, this is somebody posted this, right? Gypsy Rose, she made a little post on her social media. I'm gonna read it to you guys, okay? So as you guys know, Gypsy Rose announced that she's pregnant. Everybody's upset with Gypsy Rose right now. Listen, what I remember when she was released, I said, y'all, would you guys have a problem with her having babies right now? And some of you guys said, yes, Rabbit, she shouldn't procreate. She shouldn't have any more children. She shouldn't have children, period. She shouldn't be able to move on with her life. I don't know. I kind of knew this was going to happen because she's working to become this, reality TV star, right? That's just my opinion. Okay. Yes, CK, you could be excused. CK's like, can I be excused to go to the bathroom? I cannot stand this. I cannot stand this girl and the news on this. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let me tell you what she said. So she is trying to defend, okay, the father of her child. She's expecting. All right. She made her announcement. What was it? This week, last week, or something like that? Oh my God. Thank you so much. Look at Auntie, you guys. Auntie's Advice Lifestyle Podcast sent me a 1999 super sticker. Thank you so much, Auntie. You guys, if you guys can drop Auntie's channel in the chat, please, and thank you. Thank you, Auntie. You're awesome. All right. So she posted this and I had to talk about it. So she posted this on her social media. She said, I left Ryan March 23rd, left Ryan Anderson, March 23rd, had a period April 17, made love with Ken and only him April 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, conceived on May 4th, and positive tests on May 24th. Ken is the father. Y'all got that? Give me 1 sec. I got somebody at my door. See, I was about to announce this, and then this goes crazy. 1 second, you guys. These damn Amazon packages. Why everybody knocking at my door when I am live and we're talking about Gypsy Rose? I don't think Jesus wants me to talk about Gypsy Rose. All right. So You said, okay, let me read this again because I need to get everybody's reaction. Jesus said, don't talk about Gypsy Rose anymore. And somebody knocked on my door. Okay, so left Ryan March 23rd, had a period April 17th, made love with Ken and only him April 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. She was still married to Brian Anderson. So she's saying here, I made love, I cheated. I sure did. Conceived on May 4th and positive test on May 24th. Ken is the father. Ken is the father of that baby. Oh my God. All right, let me read some of these comments. So I do hope so too. I mean, you never know. I really do hope. That's a lie. You cannot test sooner. Oh my God. She really thought she was serving the public with this information. Girl, shut up. Just don't say nothing. Can somebody tell Gypsy Rose not to say nothing to the internet about when she made love and when she had her period and all this stuff? Like, can y'all tell me? Girls, like, I don't care. Well, I don't know. I mean, can y'all tell me? Come on now. She's just guessing at this point. Look, but I thought they were friends. So the D was on fire at a certain point, at some point. You said you were curious about her cycle. I wasn't. Yeah, I really did. We really didn't. Like, why is she, Callie? Why is she defending herself here? Like, why? Like, why? She says she had a nose job after she left Ryan and they test for pregnancy. So, ooh, Benita says, yeah, she did have a nose job. So if she, well, see, I'm not keeping track, girl. You got to tell me. She says she's guessing at this point. Are you guys thinking that, I don't know. I don't know. You said nobody has the right to say procreates. However, she needs genetic counseling. Her chromosome deletion has a 50-50 chance of being inherited. Will she be able to handle it? Ooh. I don't know. Nothing like following her mother's footsteps in a roundabout way on difference is you want a show. You driving and you're listening? Ken, the results are in. So she cheated 4 days in a row. That's what this tells me. She said she cheated 4 days in a row. When she was calling him her best friend, this is what she was doing with her best friend, girl. Yep. I'm just saying, Courtney, okay, people just shut up, Gypsy Rose. You don't need to say anything. You don't need to shut up, Gypsy Rose. You should only talk when you're doing your reality TV show. Shut up, Gypsy Rose. Don't say nothing because you're feeding the beast. As much as I'm not a fan of Kim Kardashian, I will say this. At least Kim Kardashian knows how to shut up. Okay? I'm just saying, like, at least the Kardashians can know how to shut up. You know, you got, what's her name? Kim K injecting herself with fish sperm on her face, which we need to do a video about that. I didn't know that that was a thing. See, I'm over here thinking that they're eating people's stuff or whatever. But, you know, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, just shut up. Like, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. She has a reality TV show. So all of this is just too much, you know? People are going to speculate. Yeah, it's fish sperm. Kim Kardashian is injecting her face with fish sperm, which is what Jennifer Aniston are doing. They're not eating people's placentas. That's not what they're doing. They're not doing that. They're injecting their face with fish sperm. Yes. Y'all think I'm lying. Oh my God. Hold up. I was looking at this and I said, oh, I guess it's a well-known Korean beauty secret. Now, who thought about fish sperm as a beauty thing? But I don't know. I guess it's a thing. It's a thing. It really is. I'm not joking. Let's see. Yeah, Vogue is reporting on it. There's a lot of sources that are reporting on it, that's what they do. They inject themselves with fish sperm. And that's what I know Jennifer Aniston had shared this before, y'all. That's what they do. It's real. I guess it's better than Botox. I'm just saying. You said feeding the I don't know. Listen, I might just try it. This is what I'm gonna do. I report the news. I'm gonna go out there and go inject myself. Now, see, I don't know. I have to find, where do I find? Is there a local fish sperm place that I can inject my? Like, can they inject me? I heard it's very painful. And there's like actual injections. If I do a live injecting myself with sperm, fish sperm, would you guys watch? You better, because like, bitch, you better not. It is organic. Come on, would y'all still support me if I'm gonna go to the spa, take my little phone, yes, and say, all right, like, inject me with some, you know you'd watch too. What's wrong with it? I'm just saying, apparently that's the thing. I'm not eating people's placentas. I'm not going to do that, but and nothing wrong with that, because apparently that's a thing too, just saying. You said it's like that snail cream. I'm not going to do that. She goes like, I ain't modding for that. I'm not modding for that. CK's like, I'm unsubscribing. You took it to a whole different level. I'm not doing it. I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. Do people really do this? I don't know how much that costs. But I am kind of curious to know about this, because apparently that's how these Hollyweird people stay youthful. They inject themselves with fish sperm. You said, I can't even afford caviar, let alone fish sperm. You kidding me? Caviar is so expensive. I cannot even. You said take one for the team. What? I take one for the team and I do a review. And so then CK unsubscribes for me. Come on now, CK. Don't do that to me. Pamela, I wish. Lindsay says, no, don't do it, Rabbit. Don't do it. I cannot afford caviar, let alone fish sperm. Y'all, you're kidding me, right? And who thought of that? It just made me think about, like, what was the research behind it? Like, what happened? How long have they been injecting people with fish sperm? And like, what's up with that? But apparently Kim Kardashian is a person that does it. So, and so does Jennifer Aniston, which, I mean, Oh my God. Anyways, I just thought I'd make you guys laugh for a little bit. So that being said, though, I really do think that Gypsy Rose, just be quiet. Don't stop doing all this shit, because this is too much, girl. You do not need to tell people the time frames of when you were cheating on your husband with your Ken. Okay, you don't need to do that. You don't need to tell them any of this. This is too much, especially the dates. And then you act like, no. And I have a feeling that this is going to get bigger, because they're probably going to want to DNA test all of this, And then I heard that if this, baby is born, I mean, who's going to be on the certificate? Is there going to be DNA? Is this going to be an issue later on? I know. Natalie Webster looks phenomenal. She looks great. Natural beauty. And I love that for her. So yeah, I agree with this. We don't need fish sperm. No. Anyways. That was my Gypsy Rose news. Okay. But I got some videos to work on, you guys. I want to thank everybody who came through today and argued and supported and was awesome on my live chat. Bridget, Lulu, Queen, thank you. Just Rant Already, thank you. Wim, thank you. Intergalactic, thank you. SPT TV, Atlanta, and Auntie, of course. Thank you for stopping by. All right. Y'all can be doing something, and you're here supporting me. Thank you, guys. I got to head out because I got to go tend to baby bunny, and I got to work on some pre-recorded videos. Y'all let me know your thoughts. You said I've got fish sperm in my bass boat. So gross. Well, see, now I can just ask Doug. Doug, can you spare me some fish sperm so I can just do. Listen, I'll see you guys on the next one. You guys are amazing. Thank you again for supporting my channel. Bye, guys.